This is a video for my core audience, diehard preppers who I know are going to still be up this late at night trying to figure out what the hell's going on in the world. This one's for you guys because all the kiddies have gone to bed, so it's time for a good old-fashioned pocket talk, baby. Tales from the Crypt, prepper style. Now, we need to talk about what we're going to do in the inevitable information blackout that ensues post-nuclear incident. There is going to be an information blackout that occurs after a major nuclear event. Why are we talking about nuclear events? Well, let me put it to you this way. How many people in your circle, and maybe you don't even know this either, how many people in your circle, in your immediate family, your friends, family, co-workers, knew that today, just outside of Moscow, there is an air base, a military base in fact, which was rocked by a drone strike? How many people know that? Now let me tell you this, a few months ago that would have been mainstream news. Now, barely even social media talks about something like that. It's become so commonplace. That level of normalization of this intensity of the conflict puts us at a very, very high risk of crossing a Rubicon that we can't walk back. And I do think that there is a 90% chance that we are going to see a war, a major war, whether it is initiated intentionally, whether it's instigated unintentionally or accidentally. Everything is pointing towards that at this point. Now, whether it goes nuclear is unknown, and I don't want to freak people out. That's not the MO of this channel, to freak people out. The MO of this channel is to make people aware of the gravity of this situation. And that simple fact alone, that something that would have been headline news just months ago is not even mentioned anymore, should be concerning to the average thinking person, okay?
All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto our apostle elders which rule great millstone while. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure until the end. Shalom wa abba babal. Alright, so as you heard, this man, you know, he's saying that there's pretty much a media blackout, right? Which is true, and it's gonna even get worse because you're not gonna have the prophets anymore, alright, able to speak on these channels pretty soon. Alright, these platforms are gonna cut the prophets from being able to speak. It tells you in Amos 8 verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, the supreme power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. Alright, so this is going to happen before nuclear destruction. This is going to happen before even the shortages really hit the store, causing famine. Alright, which we're in this time of them stopping us from being able to preach the gospel. Alright, that's the famine of the word. And just like you heard that man from that show, Canadian Prepper, you're already having a blackout, a media blackout of certain information. Just like Russia getting bombed at right after they kill 6 German soldiers in a Leopard tank. So the world's at war, but the end is going to be when all these armies are gathered together in the valley of Jehoshaphat. Alright, you want to know where it's at? Look it up. You know, if you wanted to know where a concert was happening, you know where to look it up. Right? You whatever your heart desires, if you wanted it, you'd search it out and find it. So you need to start doing this work for yourself too, because we're at the end now. And there's going to be a famine of the word. You're not going to have the teachers out in the public no more because of this prophecy that's going to come to pass. It says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall turn to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. You see, the Lord's going to remove the word, because this is a mercy. It's a mercy to know that you're an Israelite. It's a mercy to know that Yahweh and Yahweh Shai is our power and our Savior. So that He's going to remove that mercy, so that the 2/3 that rejected the truth when they had the time, He's pretty much going to destroy them in their unfaithfulness. All right. I want to see the NLT for this. It says, people will stagger from sea to sea and wander from border to border, searching for the word of Yahweh, but they shall not find it. Why? Because the Lord is going to remove this truth from the earth, as much with these 2/3. You know, they're not going to be able to find it, but He's always going to have a remnant that's here on the earth, but it's going to be hidden from those 2/3 so that He could destroy them in their unbelief. Proverbs 1 verse 20, wisdom crieth without, and wisdom crieth without, it's going into the whole world. All right, let's go back. Translation comparison, NLT. Wisdom shouts in the streets, she cries in the public square. And this is being done throughout the whole world. On YouTube, you can see it. I can watch the brothers in Africa, the brothers in Australia, the brothers in, like last night, I went to sleep watching the brother from Australia, GMS. You know, he was doing a beautiful sit down about Jacob's trouble about to kick off. You know, with Biden saying when this government shuts down, which it's supposed to shut down this week, right? Because it hit its budget limit. Biden said that it was going to be bad for the so-called black man. And what he pointed at? Famine. He said nutritional value is going to go down for the so-called black community, which they're going to starve you. We've been telling you, the Lord said He's going to bring the sword being that so-called white man, the red devil, and then He's going to allow that red devil to have reign. And what happens when he rules? He brings famine, death, and destruction. And we've been crying in the streets, not just us, but even generations before. Look at Abba Bivens. All right? It says, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets through the mouth of the prophets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, once again through the prophet's mouth, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have said and not, meaning you have said that it is nothing, all my counsel. So you don't believe in the Bible. You don't believe in the words of the Bible, which is the word of Yahweh, which He speaks of Yahweh Shai. And with none of my reproof, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh, which we're about to go into a terrible time. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when your distress and anguish cometh upon you, then Then shall they call upon me. They're going to search from border to border, from coast to coast, but shall not find the word of Yahweh. But I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices, which they're going to trust in their enemy and be deceived into taking that implantable microchip, which the red devil, the Caucasians, the wicked that rule the world, they're going to make that mandatory for buying and selling, which is an abomination, and it will be your condemnation to your place in the lake of fire, which is America suffering that nuclear destruction that's been prophesied at the hands of its own allies. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. And that's what that chip is. It's the prosperity of fools. And why are you going to run to that prosperity of fools? Because you don't want no correction. But whoso hearkeneth unto me, who will ever take on that correction and repent, shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. Now let me get this here. Speaking about how he put the word in our mouths as prophets. Alright? 2nd Ezra 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people. The Israelites are his people, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, which have been scattered throughout the world in slavery. The words of prophecy, which were prophesying of Yahushai returning and judging the world. And we have the signs that come before Yahushai, like the famine of the word, which there's going to be a famine of bread eventually, all right, and an implantable microchip, which after that is nuclear destruction at the coming of Yahushai, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. See, the Lord chose his prophets by the power of Yahweh, and he put the Spirit in them to teach this gospel correctly, so that anyone that has the ear to hear, an eye to see, that are Israelites, so that they could be saved, could hear it and see it and believe and be sealed, so that they endure, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. There you go. See, it was written in the scroll, but the Lord even prophesied through prophets that the Bible would be eventually a book written on paper, which we have that. We even have it on our phones in an app, which it was prophesied that wisdom would increase in the last days in Daniel 12. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. The sword, which is that so-called white race, famine, death, and destruction. And that's what you're about to witness. Famine, death, and destruction at the hand of that so-called white race, which are the red devils the Bible speaks of. Alright? All praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham Ha Rakah Kodash. Double honors to our apostle elders, which rule Great Millstone well. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abba babon.